celebrating the 30 years of SHUVATARA, and very difficult for me physically and mentally. But after the COVID, it was not possible for the school because the school itself was running into red. And the working hours that they put in was like, it's laughable because, and there was not much understanding from them. So in the end, we just had to decide that we cannot do it anymore.
Miss, I think this was the most heartbreaking news that I came across, that 34 years of running SHUVATARA, it was actually closed. And there were different reasons surrounding, like maybe even rumors or of maybe not teachers getting paid and those kinds of rumors. If you would want to clarify on why and how.
Yeah, thank you for letting me clarify. It has been a very difficult topic for me, and I've kept quiet about this. People ask me, but I tend not to discuss it because what has happened has already happened, right? And there is no point in raking up the negatives. But the case, as the teachers not being, satisfied with their services, the reward for their services, that is like, I don't think that is true. That is not fair, because we tried always to satisfy the teachers. They were the first and foremost important group in the school. As I told you, we started a teachers training center just to make the teachers more professional, so that their skills would improve and they would, get more salaries. Also, they will have a better professional standing. And we used to observe things like Guru Purnima, I don't know if you had that, but it was like worshipping the teachers and reminding teachers of their duties and their responsibilities and how high they are in the hierarchy of the school. Like they influence they make a difference in the life of the child totally. So facilities wise, also the salaries, also we gave them at par with the government and much more. The facilities that they got, when you convert it into money, would be quite a sizable amount. Things like their very decent living quarters, electricity paid, water bills paid, food, all meals paid, the tuition of their children subsidized, highly subsidized. The first child gets total tuition free, second and third is subsidized. Then they would get their leaves, all sorts of leaves, their study leave, their even maternity leave, even for the men, and then their professional development leaves they used to take. Their transport was subsidized. I think they got it mostly free transport. Then giving all of this, if the facilities are, like if they say that their needs were not met, that's where the school had a problem. After the COVID, until the COVID, it was fine. We were catering to all their wishes. But after the COVID, it was not possible for the school because the school itself was running into red. And the other organizations that were supporting us, like the restaurants, also were in trouble, right? And SAMSA also was a sick man, very sick man at that time, making all these negotiations and deals for small little petty negotiations about salary and about facilities. And the working hours that they put in was like, it's laughable, because it was like the senior grade teachers were working like sometimes 2 periods in a day, sometimes maximum 4 periods in a day, that's all. And there were 8 or 9 periods that other teachers were working in other schools. And the rest of the periods, they were meant to use it for research, for their planning and their corrections. But it was not happening that way. Those extra periods were being used for their meetings, for working actually against the very school that was supporting them. So that was atmosphere that was not pleasant at all. Very, very, uh, a lot of tensions created, worries created, and it amounted to indiscipline. And it was difficult to run the school, and there was like a parallel government going on over there, and the children were in the middle of all this, and they were not getting. We were not able to function with creative activities anymore because there would be only half support for it. There was no total support for it. I remember we were celebrating the 30 years of SHUVATARA, and very difficult for me physically and mentally. And I was not well also myself with, I'm well into my 60s, 68, 69, 70, that working with a broken leg, it was very stressful for both sir and me. And in the end, because it was a school that had so many visions, high values and ideals, it was difficult to compromise that we had to function in this way, at half our level or almost less than that also. And financially also we were very badly off. So in the end, we just had to decide that we cannot do it anymore. And in this way, in this huge, the first we had about 200 staff and teachers, and it had come down to about 100, and even paying them all their salaries, which was not little by any means. It cannot be called mean. It was at par with all the other bigger schools. But according to their experience in the school, they were getting their due, and it was timely. The salaries were mostly timely, and there was not much understanding from them about our problems. It was we asked them, requested them not to do this. Let's work on it, because if the school remains, then everything will carry on. If the school is not there anymore, then all of us will be gone, But they didn't take it seriously. They scoffed at it. And in the end, we just had to make a very difficult decision. And with the hope that with all the students that we had taught would continue the legacy, what had been taught to them. And we would try to give back to society with our experience and our education experience in some way. But not in a big institution anymore. It was difficult to run a big institution like that in the circumstances.
I also talked to some of my friends and some of the teachers, and they were telling